Today I'd like to share with you some products that I found that make my camera setups easier. The first one that I found that makes my life a lot easier is this small cable clamp by SmallRig. Now, this is a neat little product. It can be used in a lot of different places. It has neoprene rubber inside of it. It will hold a larger cable and just clamp it shut like this. Holds it nice and secure. You can put multiple cables through if you want. But the main reason I purchased this was, this is the standard cable support or retention device that you get with most cages, no matter who the manufacturer is. You have to put it onto the camera here, adjust it in or out, and then you clamp your cable down. Well, that takes time. Plus, when you're putting this into the actual camera, you need to make sure that you're not putting too much stress on your either USB or your HDMI port on your camera. And I was concerned about that because a lot of the times, as we know, when you're doing a setup for your camera, things get tight as far as time is concerned, and you don't want to make a mistake. And you also certainly don't want a cable being pulled out if there's extra stress put on it. So the next product I'd like to show you is something very simple, but it's this 4mm Allen wrench that I use. This screwdriver style 4mm Allen wrench most of the time when I'm doing studio type work. It makes it very easy, but when I'm out in the field, everybody always wants to have a 4mm Allen wrench handy. And I've been through dozens and dozens of them. I have a lot of GoPro setups that need them. And I didn't like them because either they were too short, and they're also very sharp. The edges of the Allen wrench are sharp. This particular one is chrome plated. It has rounded edges on it, or it's chamfered, and then it also has a ball end on the other end here. So it's not sharp, it won't cut you, it won't corrode because it's chrome plated, and it's a nice bright color where you're gonna see it, and they're inexpensive. I'll put a link in the description below. I believe they come in a 4-pack, and they're very inexpensive. So we'll just grab this with the ball end here. We'll stick it on our cage, on our camera. I usually find that tightening it down just like that would be fine. Then you'll go ahead, and this camera uses a mini HDMI, and we'll stick this in the port, run this through here, and now we're all set up and good to go. Now, one of the things with this Canon 90D is that if the USB or the HDMI port, excuse me, is plugged in, the LCD display does not work. And if I'm doing a photo shoot and it's on my gimbal and I need to change some settings and I don't want to navigate through all the buttons, I just want to use the touchscreen, I need to disconnect the remote monitor from the camera. Well, with this setup, I can literally just pull the cable out. The cable hangs right there. I can make my settings changes to the camera, and then the cable is already oriented correctly, so now I can stick it back in. So that makes my life easier. The other thing that I found these little cable clamps work well for is putting them on the back of the external monitors, where now with this setup, I have a strong setup that it's not putting any stress on this connector or this connector here. Which brings me to my next product. The next product is this 90-degree end here from my monitor. Normally, the monitors, when you plug them in, and if this was on my Ronin, it's now sticking out further and it's going to get bumped on something. I haven't really bumped it on anything, but I like to try to ward off the evil spirits, so to speak, making sure that I have the neatest and cleanest setup that I can get. With this 90-degree connector, you can plug it right into the monitor here and plug it straight out of the back. On the camera that I'm filming on now, I'm using a 90-degree connector like this that actually takes it out and runs the wire down, so it's not having stress on it that way. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description. Now with an HDMI, you have to be conscious of which way this little pattern is. It's not like a nice new USB-C where it can be either direction. So I found myself buying 3 different ones. In the link in the description, I believe the kit will have a right and a left. So you can buy one set that will have a right and a left 90-degree like this, and then it will have a right and a left 90-degree like this in the kit. So hopefully that'll make things easier for you. The last product that I'd like to show you today is this other product by SmallRig. Now I use a Canon 90D as you see here. I use the R5C, which eats a lot of battery as we know. This is a direct replacement for the LP series Canon battery. They do make them for multiple other manufacturers. But the nice thing about this is you can charge this battery just by plugging it in to a USB-C. There's a charge indicator light on it. The other big factor about this battery, a normal Canon battery is 2130 milliamps. This one is actually 2400 milliamps, so I'm finding I'm getting a longer runtime. Plus, it's much easier to recharge out in the field. You can use a power pack, plug it in, and you're not using that cumbersome charger that Canon supplies us. So hopefully you'll take a look at these and they'll work for your needs as well. One of the big things is this battery costs half as much as the factory Canon battery. And I've been using these for about a month and a half to 2 months now at the time of this video, and I've been very pleased with them. The quality seems to be just typical SmallRig, where everything is very well made, and I've been pleased with the products. I wouldn't say 100% of the time. I have sent a few back, but I do really like the way the products fit and feel, especially for what you're paying for them. Hopefully these products will help you out, making your camera setup a lot cleaner, neater, and especially easier to use. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.